Niners are not going to trade Deebo Samuel.
Okay.
They're going to hold on to him through the draft. It's going to be controversial, and people are going to say, why? What do you think you're going to do? Deebo could be very upset. But from the 49ers perspective, and there's one person in the organization who I think is behind the wheels here, who's most important.
Okay.
One person who's going to stick to this and say, the deadline is freaking August. The deadline is right before training camp. Let's chill. All this has gotten so out of hand. This is like so dramatic. Everyone's upset. Let's relax. This is not the draft is not the deadline. The training camp is the deadline. I think we're talking a lot about Jed, Parag, John. This is Kyle's team. This is Kyle's team, and that is Kyle's discovery. Kyle wanted Deebo. Kyle believed in Deebo. Kyle discovered him at the Senior Bowl. Kyle hasn't really been involved in this negotiation so far. This is like a, Tory Dandy, Parag Marathe production so far.
Yeah, it sure seems like it.
It's still early in the process. And what Kyle can do is say, I'm not letting Deebo go. That's my guy. And I'll let John, flounder around and look bad for a while. I'll let Parag do his job. I'll let Tory Dandy do his job. I'll let Deebo Samuel get his feelings out. And then when it really looks bad in mid-July, I'll come in and I'll be the hero like I was with Trent Williams and say, you know what, Parag, Jed, John, give the man his money and everyone will love me and I'll be the freaking hero. But I don't need to do that right now. I'll let John look bad. I'm not going to the freaking press conference. John, you're up. Take the firing squad. I'll be the hero in July. You look bad in April. Parag, you do what you got to do. I mean, he did this with Trent Williams. I get the feeling that Deebo is a made man like Trent Williams is, and that Kyle is a very stubborn person, and he's not going to be like, it fell apart. Like Kyle thinks, no, I have a really strong relationship with Deebo. Deebo likes me. I can't. He may not like John Lynch. Can't speak for how he feels about Parag. He likes me, and all it takes is for me to step in at the last minute and be like, Jed, give him his money. John, be quiet. Parag, be quiet. And then I'll be the good guy. Now, maybe Deebo Samuel won't let it get to that point, but I don't think there's anything he can do in the next 2 months. I mean, I think eventually Kyle's going to have to get the opportunity to be the hero, and I think that's his plan. So I could be wrong. I'm just trying to think from Kyle's perspective. And I know a lot of people think Kyle thinks he can replace Deebo. I don't even think he's that arrogant.
Is it fair to say that he would be Captain Save-A-Deebo?
Captain Save-A-Deebo, yes. Captain Save-A-Deebo. And I think he's kind of sitting back in the weeds being like, oh, okay, I hear what everyone's saying. Everyone thinks we blew it. Everyone thinks we can't solve it. But again, like the Niners culture is Kyle, man. When the players say they trust management or they trust Kyle. They like Kyle. I mean, how do they feel about John Lynch? Not sure. How do they feel about Parag? Not sure. But as long as Kyle's there, I feel like, and you have a strong relationship with him, you probably feel like at the deadline, you might be able to make something happen. Trent did.
Hey, listen, I think anything is possible here, right? I do. The reason that I'm not going that route is because we've heard about the Deebo Samuel trade situation for roughly a week. Sounds like the 49ers heard it at least a week prior and possibly even 2 weeks prior.
Sure.
So I would think during this time, as you're leading up to the draft, before it gets out to the media that Deebo wants out and everybody knows, that you would have spent that time doing that, right? Before it became an issue.
I hear you. Hold on. Let's go back to what you said originally. You said the Niners can't fix this, right?
Yes, I believe that. Yeah.
Okay, you believe that. I may believe that too. Now think like Kyle Shanahan for a second. Try.
Okay.
Do you think Kyle Shanahan thinks he can't fix this?
No.
He has, and from his perspective, he hasn't even stepped in the ring yet. He's letting John Lynch and Parag blow this. Flounder around. I'm just saying, Kyle is a very ambitious, very prideful, stubborn person. But I just can't see Kyle Shanahan throwing up his hands because Deebo's upset in April. From Kyle's perspective, dude, I got this. If it comes down to it, I'm the hero. I can be Batman here. I can save everyone. But I'll let John Lynch. I'll give John Lynch a shot. I'll give Parag a shot. It seems like they're gonna fail. I just can't see Kyle being like, oh well, Deebo, because one of the things that Kyle prides himself on is relationships with players. I don't know how much of a leader Kyle is, but everyone likes Kyle. Kyle keeps it real. Kyle is that guy who has players' respect and admiration without trying, right? He's just Kyle. And I feel like this is what he brings to the table. His relationship with Deebo, it's been documented, right? They're homies. They talk all the time. They talk before practice. They meet up every day. They have their own relationship. He hasn't been. I just feel like from Kyle's perspective, he's the most powerful person in the organization. He knows it. He can overrule Parag. He can go to Jed and say, this is what I need. And it's possible he'll give up tomorrow. But just covering him for 5-6 years, I just feel like Kyle's being back like, I haven't had my say yet. It's my guy. Like Trenton's my guy. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, and just from that perspective, by the way, the 49ers, let's be clear about this, because some people feel like, oh, they have to trade Deebo. That is not the case. The 49ers technically hold the bargaining chips, right? For the most part, at least on paper, right? Like if Deebo misses even a day of training camp, his whole contract gets rolled over for another year. That's the situation Deebo's in.
He does have some leverage. They either have to trade him or fix the relationship. And I think Kyle thinks he can fix the relationship at the end. Yeah. I think he thinks he can. And maybe he can.
Just would see, but that's just it. Is I would hope that they would have tried to figure that out already, right? I would hope
been proactive and not just take it down.
Well, yeah, exactly.
That's fair. But Kyle's this week, thinking about X's and O's, and then he's like, he gets to July, he's like, do I really have to? Are you serious? Okay, fine. He's like, I don't know. He can't be bothered. He's not really thinking about human dynamics like that. But at the very end, he's like, you know what? I just happen to have this great relationship with Deebo. Maybe I'll, tap into it in July. I don't know.
I would just hope that Monday of this week, Tuesday of this week, Sunday of this week, that those conversations would have tried to have been had, right? And maybe it's as simple as, hey, Deebo's not picking up the phone. Or maybe they did meet and Deebo says, Coach, I want out. This is not repairable. I have a number. You're not willing to give me that number. And unless that changes, I want out.
See, that could be what's going. See, from what we've heard, right? Deebo's very mad. Deebo won't negotiate. Deebo broke off talks.
Yes.
So what the Niners what Kyle could think is, just chill. We got 2 months. Let's let things cool down. He can't be mad. No one can be mad for 2 months. It's impossible.
It's true.
You know what I mean? You just can't. It's impossible. You can be mad for a couple of weeks, but some time will pass. Emotions will clear. It'll be business again, and you'll approach him. Kyle will approach him and say, Deebo, we're going to give you what you want. Okay? I know you were really upset, but
right.
It was a miscommunication. Right? Now I'm coming to you, and we're going to work this out. I just feel like if I were Kyle, that's how I would feel. I don't want to give away Deebo. I don't think Jamison Williams is Deebo. I don't think Garrett Wilson is Deebo. They were all good wide receivers, but I want Deebo. And the fact that the Niners, Parag and John couldn't work this out sooner, fine. But you know what? Maybe it's good not to just capitulate to Deebo right off the bat because Deebo's really upset about it. Dude, relax. Just chill, and Kyle will take care of you in July. I mean, I think that could be Kyle's perspective. I'm going to take care of you, but at the same time, I'm not going to reward you for being impatient. You're going to have to just chill for a couple of months. But at the same time, I'm going to take care of you.
Yeah, I mean, the 49ers philosophy has always been, we'll wait. And Shanahan himself says that he wishes free agency came after the draft.
True.
Right? And I think that's a big reason why they do wait on those contracts. Also, it takes leverage away from the players knowing that if they're going to get traded, it's most likely to happen before the draft. I think that the way the 49ers negotiate obviously has worked in the past. But eventually, when you hear Sherman talk about it,
Yep.
you see that Trent Williams had to be saved at the last minute. You hear Kittle's agent called the Valentine's Day Massacre. Eventually, you're going to get a player. And luckily for them, that player is Deebo and not Nick Bosa, right? Maybe they figure this out and they figure out how to negotiate with Bosa. But you're going to get a player that says, I'm not dealing with the BS. I want out, period. Pay me or get me out of here.
You're assuming that Nick Bosa is cool with the 49ers front office negotiating tactics. Why do you assume that?
I don't. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that Nick Bosa, luckily for them, they can figure this out before it gets to the Bosa thing. Let's not forget that Bosa was the last one to sign his rookie contract. You think he's going to play this game with them? Absolutely not. No way.
We don't know how Bosa feels right now. Deebo's in the spotlight. Bosa's not at the offseason training program either. Both of them didn't go. Everyone's focused on Deebo because Deebo took some pictures down. No one knows how Bosa feels. Everyone's like, oh, he's good. He's good. He probably is good. How do we know? For all we know, he wants to go play with his brother or go back to Florida or, you know what I mean? Like, we have no idea.
No clue. You're right. We have no clue.
And, if the Niners' issue is they're cool with giving out big contracts with lots of funny money, but not a lot of guarantees and a lot of club outs, like, well, Deebo's not going to go for that. And you know who else won't go for that?
Bosa.
Nick Bosa.
Certainly not.
So, like, he's really being quiet and under the radar, but that's his personality. Watch for Nick Bosa because he has even more leverage than Deebo. He's going to be even more expensive than Deebo. And the Niners have never given out big guaranteed money before.
Yeah, absolutely. So they've got to figure this out, whether it's with Deebo or they use this as a jumping off point to say, all right, we didn't handle that right. We can't do that again, or we've got to switch our philosophy. They cannot do that with Bosa because it will not go well. It might go worse.